Two, one. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, the happy place. How many of you are happy today? Yes. It's always a good day when you wake up, right? So, and you got out on the right foot and you're here to celebrate life and to recognize that your life is divine, that you are here to show your magnificence, and that the Center for Spiritual Living is here to create a world that works for everyone. Are you ready to do that? Yeah. Because truthfully, it's up to us. And it starts within. And then it spreads.
Within what?
What do you mean?
You said it starts within. Within what? Oh, gotcha.
What do you want to say about that?
Let me tell you why I'm wearing a hat.
Are you wearing a hat because I put that suntan cream on your head?
She gave me suntan cream, and like a guy, I just kind of went. And guess what I looked like? A paintball target.
Put your hat back on. I know, after he did that, I said, let me put it on in the future. So I want to acknowledge, is Carlos here today? Not yet, he will be. I just want to acknowledge that yesterday we had an amazing honoring of Carlos Scheer's father, Carlos Scheer, and Sr., and Carlos provided all this food for a reception, and we have a lot of it left. So today is our picnic day. We're going to be barbecuing hot dogs and hamburgers, and we have chips, and we have water, and now we have about 4 sides to go with it. It's $10 a person, and you will not go away hungry, I guarantee you.
I'm going out there.
You can't talk unless you have a microphone.
I can't talk anyway.
Okay. Larry's actually going to talk today. So now there are a few announcements. I'm going to have Michelle come up here and give the announcements. Here is Michelle Conley Brown.
Good morning, CSL. Hello. How is everybody? Okay, let's dive right into these fascinating announcements. Are we ready? Okay, thanks to all those who contributed to our parking lot. Has everybody gone back and seen it? Yay! Parking lot is so cool. We are raising money to finish our payment. Yeah, that's the other part. So we're looking for donations to finish that payment for that fantabulous parking lot. Special barbecue for lunch today, like Reverend Mary Jean said, hot dogs and veggie burgers on the grill under the expert hands of Reverend Larry and his team. There's all kinds of other goodies out there to get, vegetables and dip and mashed potatoes and other stuff. So come check it out for $10. It's a great deal. You get chips and everything. Reverend Larry has a class coming up, the Masters of Prosperity. It starts Thursday, July 14th and runs for 4 weeks. Class time is from 6:30 to 9 p.m. and will be presented here at CSL. Sign up online or in the bookstore, but online if you'd like to do it easier, okay? And then let's see, the suggested donation for the class is $150. Payment plans are available. Just see us and let us know if you need that option. Go Euro Go food truck and Destination Desserts is a local nonprofit that benefits the Center for Head Injuries. Will be here on our lot Wednesday, July 20th. Emerson will perform. Suggested donation for the concert is $10. Catch him while you can. Emerson will return to Mexico soon. Oh. So really, come check out the food truck events are so fun with the music and the neighborhood people coming, and yeah, it's great. Michelle Conley Brown, myself, will hold a Reiki healing time here on Friday, July 22nd at 7 p.m. I would love everyone to come and learn about energy work or energy healing. You don't need any kind of prerequisite. You can sign up in the Rising Thought bookstore. You can just show up, whatever you prefer. Also, Sherry Lease will be conducting her amazing sound bath on Friday, August 5th at 7 p.m. Come and experience deep relaxation and powerful rejuvenation. Sign up in bookstore. The donation is $30. The gongs, the bowls, 2 different kinds of bowls, chimes. It's amazing. I love it. I love going. You can bring a pillow and blanket, wear really comfortable clothes. Everybody gets cozy. It's a lot of fun. Also, we're still looking for people in the bookstore, mostly for the second and third Sundays, just so that we have 2 people each time. If anybody feels moved to do that, please do so. And I believe David had something that he wanted to talk about. Come on up, David.
Does anybody notice anything about me today? My hair? No. I'm wearing a lot of blue because I'm a little bit blue that we made some progress, but we barely got away from this bottom heart. So we're at about $7,800 right now on the parking lot. Now, what I'd like to do is I know some of you love the idea that we have this parking lot, and I'm going to be at the back of the room today, and what I want you to do is come and gift me your ideas of why it was important to have that parking lot. Because the reason I want to get these ideas is because even if you aren't able to financially do something, your idea for the little, I'll call it a little marketing campaign that we're going to do is sort of a drip campaign I would use in my practice, where we continually remind people that, hey, the parking lot's here, we still have to pay for it, and here's some really good reasons why it's important. Now, what would those reasons be? Well, when I pull back there, I don't feel like someone's going to pick up a big rock from the parking lot and throw it at me, because there aren't any rocks anymore. So that would be one reason. Or I have an arm. Safety is another reason. But what I'd like to do is have you actually come and gift me those ideas, and I'm going to write them down, and it's going to be part of this marketing campaign. So with that being said, if you happen to want to donate some cash today, I'm going to be back there, and I'll have these envelopes. I'm going to put your name on it so that you get credit for even cash you donate today. So if there's, no, okay, well, you'll get credit. All right, well, very good. So anyway, so every bit helps, and again, your ideas are the most valuable thing for me to have, because I want to make sure when we do this kind of several letters to previous congregants and so forth, and some of them may not even be coming because they thought our parking lot was horrible. Some people are just that way. But at any rate, we're past that, and have a good day today.
Thank you, David. Bracelets for the Ukraine are still available in the bookstore. We do have smaller sizes if you want to give them for gifts for tiny wristed people or children. We also have those. They're really nice. Come check them out. There's some different styles. And is anyone here for the first time? If you're here for the first time, raise your hand. You would just fill out that little form and hand it in the bookstore, and we have a thumb drive for you to listen to some talks, or you can have a CD, whichever format you prefer. Thank you so much, guys.
Sorry, one more special announcement. Some of you know that I have done a voters presentation, voters guide and information for the last few years, and I'm going to be doing a special presentation next Sunday about 12:30 after service to help you get ready for the August 2nd primaries. And it's nonpartisan information. It's really to help you research your ballot and make sure that you're fully informed on the folks who are running, the different amendments and things like that. Because the folks who vote in the August primaries are what determine what you see in November. And so if you want to have more choice, I can't tell you how important it is. Usually the turnout in August is like 20%. That means what we vote on in November is determined by 20% of the people or less. And we can see that our democracy doesn't work without everybody being engaged. So my role is not to convince you to vote like me. Nope. It's really to help you vote in the way that speaks to your heart and to cut through as much disinformation as we can. So hope to see you next Sunday at 12:30. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh, let's take a deep breath and let it go. Oh, and one more time. And let us know together that there is only one heart, one mind, one intelligence, one love. And that is who we are, for we are part of the one. And being this is true, I am so grateful to know that my thoughts control my life. As Ernest said, thoughts are things. And what we think about all day long is our reality. And that's why forgetting the outside and going inside is really where it's at. Because in this space, there is love, compassion, and understanding. But most of all, this is where solutions are born. I know there's a solution to this strife, and I know that it starts with me in the little things, in the little ways, in the way I look at people that don't believe like me. This has been a challenge for me because some of them are my family, but I can still love them. I can still be that part of them that is love, light, and I can see beyond. That's what we're called to do, to see beyond the trouble and the strife and bring love home once again. I am so grateful to know this truth and this truth for you too, because we're in this together. And together we must be one mind, one heart, and one love. And knowing that we believe these things, we pass it on to the whole world, step by step, light by light, and heart by heart. For this knowledge and all my blessings, I say thank you. Thank you and thank you. And now I let it go into the law of mind, where it can be made whole and present. And together we say, and so it is.
Before I do the thought for the day, where's Carlos? Oh, he's right there. Okay. Carlos, we just want to acknowledge the amazing celebration we had yesterday for your father. It was fabulous. And we also have an opportunity for anybody who would like to give a gift to CSL in honor of your father. There's cards out there on the table, and you can just take it in the bookstore and come on up. Anybody that has a card right now, we're going to collect them and give them. You want to take these to Carlos? Yeah. Carlos, you want to come up and get them? Yeah. We're going to be eating a lot of the food you provided yesterday, so thank you for that. Thank you, Carlos. We love you. Great, great. Thank you. Well, one of the things about Carlos's father is he was a giver. He loved to be in service. And that's what we talked about. And that's what people are like, I'm going to up my service. Or what are they going to say about me? Also, in the 40 years I've been a minister, more people shared at that memorial for an adult than I've ever seen, because they came up and they wanted to tell everybody different little vignettes about how amazing Carlos Sr. is. The only time we had more was when Tessa's grandson passed away, and he was in his 20s. And so all of his 20-year-old friends got up and shared. But I've never seen that with an adult. And it was amazing. So anyway, we love you, Carlos, and we're here for you to celebrate with you. And again, if you want to make a contribution to CSL in honor of his father, cards are out there on the table. Just take it in the bookstore, and you can do a credit card or a check. And now for the thought for the day. Oh, this is the thought for the day. We're going to say this one together. I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. Wow. I think we should say that one more time. I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. And so it is. Oh, that's Mahatma Gandhi. Also, if you do want to see the memorial, it is on our Facebook page. And it's on our website, because Larry put it on both places. Thank you. And now we have music by our Latin lover, Emerson. And Emerson's the one that's going to be doing a concert on the 20th in the parking lot. And we had said it's an adios concert because we thought you were leaving early, but he may be here till September. But it's still an opportunity to come and hear him and eat some Greek food and support the food truck and just enjoy. So thank you. Here is Emerson. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you so much. Good morning, San Luis. Buenos días, México. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for support and love. I need to say again and again and again. Thanks God for that moment. So, ¿cuántas personas hablan español aquí? Bien. Okay. Tú también. Okay. Escogí esta canción porque Larry va a hablar un poco acerca de las relaciones entre los humanos. Y bueno, esta es una canción muy especial que se llama Amigo. La compuso el señor Roberto Carlos de Brasil. Y yo quería que pusieran la letra en inglés, pero voy a tratar de explicar un poco. It's about a song about friends, and I don't know if I can speak in English, but it's about say, you are my soul brother, really a friend, that in every way and day is always with me. Even though you are a man, you still have the soul of a child. The one who gives me his friendship, his respect and love. I remember that together we had very bad times, hard times. And you did not change how strong the mind were. Your house is an open house. You are really the most certain in uncertain times. So I just want to share that a little verse. So this is a song for you guys. I dedicate that song for my old friends, my family now. This is my second home, my family. And love you guys. God bless you, everyone. I speak too much, right? Tú eres mi hermano del alma, realmente el amigo En todo camino y jornada estás siempre conmigo. Aunque eres un hombre, aún tienes alma de niño. Aquel que me da su amistad, su respeto y cariño. Recuerdo que juntos pasamos muy duros momentos y tú no cambiaste por fuertes que fueran los vientos. Es tu corazón una casa de puertas abiertas. Tú eres realmente el más cierto en horas inciertas. En ciertos momentos difíciles que hay en la vida, buscamos a quien nos ayude a encontrar la salida. Y aquella palabra de fuerza y de fe que me has dado me da la certeza que siempre estuviste a mi lado. Tú eres mi amigo del alma en toda jornada, sonrisa y abrazo a cada llegada. Me dices verdades tan grandes con frases abiertas. Tú eres realmente el más cierto en horas inciertas. Hey, no preciso ni decir todo esto que te digo, pero es bueno así sentir que eres tú mi gran amigo. No preciso ni decir todo esto que te digo, pero es bueno así sentir que eres tú mi gran amigo. La 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 la. Thank you. Muchas gracias, amigos. Thank you so much.
Wow, you don't have to understand the language to feel what was going on there, right? Yeah. Good morning. It's always nice to start off with a joke. Not my hat or my head. So Mary Jean said, why don't you start with something like this? I asked my wife, what is it that women really want? And she said, a tent full of lovers. Or was it attentive lovers? I don't remember because I wasn't paying attention. That's pretty good, isn't it? Well, it's appropriate because today we're talking about relationships. And the whole month has been about relationships. And today we're talking about you and me are we. I don't know who came up with that title, but I even have trouble remembering it. Yes, so the whole idea here, behind spirituality, behind religion rather, into spirituality is the connection we have. The connection we have with every single person or soul on the planet. I think yesterday with Carlos, with your tribute to your father, was a perfect example. It was an example of all the people that he touched during his life. It was his connection. Everybody said it was an amazing connection that they had with him. There were more people from his work than I've generally seen at one of the funerals. And it was a classic example of what it can be like to be a human being in today's world. Because if there is anything that we've got going on right now, it's called stress. It's called stress. So 3 points. I want to make one about connection. The other two, which are really important, is about our passion and what can stop that passion. And the last point is going to be about something I wrote down. Oh yeah, that's right. It's about meaning. Everybody wants meaning in their life, yes? Yeah. So one of the things that's important to realize about connection is what we're talking about is not a connection from personality. Personality is our subconscious beliefs, patterns, experiences, and generally it's defensive. Generally it's defensive. What we're really talking about is we're talking about a deeper level of connection, a spiritual connection. That spiritual connection means my soul and your soul are that same energy of the divine. And when I connect with you, I'm connecting from soul to soul, not from personality to personality, which is the way we've been raised. We've been raised to believe that who we are is this being, and that being is this personality that begins to develop, and oh, isn't it so cute for a while, and then it begins to change, and then it's constantly changing. Our experiences, what we've been taught, all of these things come together, and that's who we believe we are. And we know from just watching Alzheimer's patients that that all goes away, doesn't it? It's unbelievable. When you watch somebody who's been this way for 50 or 75 or 100 years, and now that's not who they are. And they don't, in this particular case, the neurostructure doesn't even recognize those that they knew before. Because Alzheimer's is what I call an in-between. They're in between here and the other plane. And it gets very confusing for those who are around. And it gets confusing not at all for them. It's quite amazing. And truthfully, I think we've got more of these kind of neurological disorders than we've ever had in the past. A lot of it is because we've lost our connection with nature. We've lost our connection with nature, and how do we know? Because we're destroying the planet. It's very clear. The number of toxins that are out in the environment is huge. I can remember stories about kings of Europe, and they would talk about how they would go crazy and just totally off the chart. And then we would look at how are they being treated in terms of medical. And one of the interesting pieces is, back in the 1700s, for example, medicine was all about bloodletting. You know, that was an interesting idea. Let's just drain all the blood out and see if he survives. And leeches and a whole variety of other kinds of things. And that whole idea, we found that they were treating gout, for example, with these kings who had extraordinarily rich diets with mercury. You know one of the first symptoms of mercury? Insanity. And they would give it to him and they'd get worse, and they go, oh, he's really getting worse, let's give him more. You know, that's a typical thing, isn't it? It's whatever it is, we got to get more of it in order to be better. Not a good idea. So we've lost touch with nature. We're dealing from our personalities and from a collective personality with nature in a highly destructive way. It won't be very long before science tells us that this planet is going to be in even more serious trouble than it's been. Where has it been? It's been right up until about the early 1900s, probably the late 1800s, that we watched the carbon in the atmosphere, the carbon dioxide, it was pretty much level all the way until about 1898. Then the spike went actually off the chart and they had to redraw the chart. And it's been at that point ever since the Industrial Revolution. So there are amazing things about Industrial Revolution that we have, and there's amazing inventions that we have. And in technology, we have stunning inventions. I mean, to think my father wouldn't even have a clue about some of the things that were invented back in his day and are now passé. And yet, even 20 years ago when I was studying quantum physics, the whole idea of quantum computers was like, really? We're going to do that? So we've done incredible things on this planet, but we've done it from our personalities, and our personalities are about achievements, they're about success, they're about gaining, they're about money, and all of those things have been to our own detriment because we're not connecting from a soul level, we're connecting from our personality level. The idea of connection, when you walk into a room and you feel the room, you can tell the energy of what's going on with individuals, right? Just like we could tell with Emerson, that energy that he had, what the feeling was all about. If I stood here and said, man, I really got to go to the bathroom really bad, everybody would have great empathy for me, right? Because you could feel it. That's what I'm talking about. Not going to the bathroom, feeling it. Feel this connection with people. When you walk into the room, the very first thing people usually do is they want to talk to you. Who are you? What are you about? What do you do? First thing I walk into a room, I want a sense of who they are. I want to feel the energy of who they are. What's going on with them? Because I may have in my mind to impress them with who I am because I haven't met them before. That's not a way to do it. The way to do it is to pay attention to what's going on in somebody else. Because in fact, we are empathetic beings. That's just part of our nature. Personality tends to cover that up. So the second thing to talk about is passion. You know, we all have a passion. We come into this world with a passion. As children, we're very passionate. True? Yes. It's amazing, all that energy and excitement and passion. And where does it go over time? I'll tell you where it goes. It's very simple. It goes away when you're under stress. When there's stress in your environment, when there's stress in your home, your work, the country, when people are divided and there's this collective stress, when all of this is going on, kids today, listen, children today are 30% more overweight, substantially, than ever before. Why? One of the things about stress is a trigger is uncertainty. I don't know. The second trigger of stress, well, let's stick with this. Children are so stressed out because how would you feel if you were going to school at 8 or 9 years old, not sure if you were going to survive the day? Now, I'm not even talking about all of the mass shootings that have been going on in schools. I'm talking about schools that every day are functioning under this idea with police around them, locked down, doors locked. Everything is now a prison. We are putting ourselves in prisons. The kids are going to school not sure of what's going to happen during the day. And by the way, you know, this is not unusual. Look at inner cities. They've been struggling this way for 50 or 75 years with this problem. When I was in San Diego, I went to high school in San Diego, and there was one black guy in our whole school of 600, and he played football. And I was playing football at the time. And we would get into conversations, and one of the most striking things he told me is, I rarely talk to anybody because I don't know how they're going to react to me. You know what that does? It isolates us. It isolated him. He didn't know what to do with his life, except I'll play football best I can. He went on and did an amazing job, and he was an NFL player for 15, 20 years. But you could see it in his eyes. He was impacted by it deeply at that time. Let me tell you another story about San Diego that comes to mind. When I was in high school, we used to go to a place called Coronado. How many of you have been there or heard of it? It's an island. In fact, you've probably heard of the Hotel Del. It's an isthmus off of the bay of San Diego. And the Hotel Del is there, and then the beaches down the way are called Imperial Beach. And we used to take our dates to the beach because they had the fire pits there, but the fire pits were on the bay side, and we finally figured out why. Because the Navy SEALs trained on the other side, in the ocean. I think it's fascinating that the people that are successful in Navy SEALs, what makes them successful is not the guy who walks in who's got massive muscles and tattoos everywhere. It's not the leader who wants to go in and show everybody how great he is. It's none of that. When they're out in the ocean, they're in the ocean sometimes for 12 hours. Ocean's a little cold without a wetsuit. And they're out there and their teeth are chattering and they're scared because they don't know what's going to happen next. And their buddy that's next to them gets in trouble. Navy SEALs will choose the person who helps him over anybody else because that connection tells them about loyalty. It tells them they can understand what's going on with somebody else. They can empathize with them. And that's going to make the difference for this Navy SEALs team when they're under huge stress. Connection. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I mean, who would have thought? I mean, when I was in high school and we watched these guys out in the water, and then they would come in, and I mean, they looked like death warmed over from just that one experience. I know we had a friend who washed out of the Navy SEALs because he couldn't hold his breath for 3 minutes underwater. And I thought, 3 minutes? I can barely do 15 seconds. So, a couple things. How many of you remember Karl Marx? Yeah, he's got a really bad name. Well, Karl Marx was a good philosopher, and he had 4 points about alienation. The 4 points are this. We're alienated from nature. This is in 1870, I think he wrote this. Alienated from nature. We're alienated from other people. We've lost meaningful work, and we've lost connection with ourselves. Boy, that's a recipe for disaster. Yeah, so if you take that and say, okay, the first one from nature we talked about, we're alienated from nature, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. I started writing a science fiction novel a while back, and in it, I was talking about how all of the big executives of corporations that are causing the damage to the planet are actually under the control of aliens. And they're manipulating their brains so that they're doing all this, because it couldn't be human to do all this kind of stuff, could it? I worked in the venture capital business with billionaire families all the time. And I have to tell you, there are many that are good, and there's a lot of them who are really damaged souls. And nothing mattered to them except accomplishments and getting ahead and competition. And they would run these multi-billion-dollar corporations, and they really had no care about the people within the organization. It was all about how much money the corporation made and how much of that was going to affect their salary and the assets that they could buy. To sit and have a conversation, one individual out of all of them that were there, probably 20 individuals, one of them came up to me and said, I understand that you went to the Centers for Spiritual Living. Back then it was called the Church of Religious Science. And I said, yes. He said, so do I. I said, wow, that's incredible. He lived in San Diego, and he was the chairman of the board of Royal Dutch Shell. I was like, who would have thought? And we had long conversations about all of these things. And he was trying to make changes within the organization as best he could. And he was fired for those changes. He wanted it to be more environmentally friendly. He wanted the organization to treat people as human beings and not as these slave laborers. They wanted the economies that they were working in to flourish instead of destroying the economy and then leaving, which is what they typically did. And we had all these conversations. I said, what brought you to the Centers for Spiritual Living? He said, my grandson. I said, what about your grandson? He said, he's had everything that he's ever needed in life, and he's doing things that are really bad. And at that time, I didn't know what to do. And so I heard about the Centers for Spiritual Living, and I took him to the center. He got involved in the teen group, and he went on. He became one of the teen ministers. And what the problem was, is nobody was connecting with him. Nobody knew what was going on inside of this kid. Nobody asked him. And he was hurting inside. He didn't have contact with his parents because they were off traveling the world with all their money. His grandfather was working at the Shell company in the Netherlands, and back and forth he would go. Nobody paid attention to him, and he was alone most of the time. And when you start isolating, when there's no contact, and I mean not cell phone, not with your computer, not emails, any of that stuff, but I mean contact with people, the mind begins to go crazy. It begins the process of the dominant personality in the subconscious coming to the surface. And what does that do is there's constant questions, and our conscience no longer plays a part in it. So the second part, which is we're disconnected from other people, but the third one is meaningful work. Boy, meaningful work is really something. In fact, I was watching a documentary the other day on this, and they found that 28% of the population of this country feels they have meaningful work, where they can actually be creative, as in made in the likeness of. God is creative, we're creative. When we're not in the process of creating, then we're in the process of stagnating. And when you're in the process of stagnating, the mind starts to do the same games again. We doubt ourselves. How many people, and you don't have to raise your hand, how many people have grown up under the assumption that they're a failure or that they're not good enough? I mean, the thing that's interesting is gut feeling. You know, gut feeling is that sense that we have in our stomach, something's going on. Gut sense is interesting because the cells of the gut surrounding the stomach are the same as the glial cells of the brain. So they move information from our gut into our brain. As a newborn and as an infant, they only know gut feeling. That's what tells them what they need to be doing. The very first thing we train them out of is that. And so we don't pay attention to our gut feeling, or later on when we call it intuition. In talking to most of the CEOs of those companies that I was telling you about, I asked them, what's the thing that helps you make a decision the most? And they would all say the same thing, a gut feeling. A gut feeling, intuition. Many of them would have mounds of analytical information, and they would go through as much as they could, but they based their decision on a gut feeling. When we don't have that, we're cut off from ourselves. When we cut off from ourselves and our intuition, we start setting ourselves adrift. And when you start setting yourselves adrift in an ocean that is stormy, it's going to be a problem because there's no place for you to anchor yourself. We all have gifts we came in with We all have the power within us to change our own lives and the lives of people around us. We are born compassionate and empathetic. We are born to be this unlimited being. We're born for so much more than anybody's ever told us. But if you disconnect a child early on and say, you're not what I expected in the world, guess what they're going to live with most of their life? Sad, isn't it? And we've been doing that for a long time. Now it's time to change. Centers for Spiritual Living has been around since 1912. Very similar to Christian Science, very similar to Unity, very similar to other new thoughts. What's the common thing about all of them? Learn to train your mind, understand what's in the subconscious, and create from the soul level. From that perspective, then no matter how much money you have, no matter what you've achieved, no matter what the success rate is, you'll be happy within yourself because you're alive inside instead of dead inside. Does that make sense? Take a breath. That's a lot of information. If you fell asleep, nudge your partner and say, what did he say? They'll tell you. So I just want to reiterate that we need to stay connected with each other. As COVID has demonstrated for us, when we start getting isolated, all kinds of things begin to flare up in this mind of ours. The second thing is, what's your passion? Find the passion, reduce the stress in your life, and you actually can do that. Reduce the stress in your life. One of the things to do is meditate. You can do a meditation and it only takes 2 minutes. You don't have to do 32 hours or 40 hours of meditation. Find your passion and start living from it. And the last thing is, you're going to start finding meaning everywhere when you're coming from your soul. Because that's the power of who we are, not the personality. That's going to go bye-bye at some point. Thank you.
I had to come from the back. That was so good. Thank you.
You're welcome. How's the hamburgers coming?
We're all I don't know. You, I don't barbecue.
Okay, how are the hot dogs?
You're wanted out there. Go help Skip. And Marcia and I started the barbecue, and we're like, neither one of us have ever used a barbecue, and we're like, I don't know what we do, and so we started lighting some paper, and then we went and got Skip and said, help. But by the time we're done, I'm going to pray long, we'll have Impossible Burgers and grilled hot dogs. So would our prosperity receivers please come forward? Thank you. Hi. So whatever is your gift, I just bless it. And know that it is the power of God in action. If this center is prosperous, and we open up our hands and our arms and our wings, and we accept greater good, knowing that everything that comes to this center is used for good. We not only help each other, but those around the world, those in our community. So I give thanks for your gift, knowing it truly is God in action. And so I let it be, and so it is. Amen. And now we have Emerson.
The next song is called Yo Te Seguiré. It's a song by Alberto Plaza. I think he's from Argentina. And Es en español. And the first verse say, "Don't ask me for more than I can give. Everyone has their greatest desire. Don't take away freedom wings, because I have begun to take flight. Don't ask me for more than can I give. I have joy and sadness at hand. Accompany me and help me sing. That's why they both sit at my table. I can't be perfect. I have thousands of flaws. I have tears and I have heart. And I will follow you where you go, and I will stay by your side." No me pidas más de lo que puedo dar. Cada uno tiene su mayor anhelo. No le quites alas a la libertad, porque ya he empezado a levantar el vuelo. No me pidas más de lo que puedo dar. Tengo a mano la alegría y la tristeza. Me acompañan y me ayudan a cantar. Por eso las dos se sientan en mi mesa. Yo no puedo ser perfecto, tengo miles de defectos, tengo lágrimas y tengo un corazón. Si me pides que mejore mis fracasos, mis errores, dame tiempo para ver si puedo andar. Y yo te seguiré donde vayas tú, y me quedaré a tu lado. No me pidas más de lo que puedo dar. Yo soy lo que ves, no soy más que vida. He escogido a mi cuerpo para descansar y seguirá camino alguno de estos días. Yo prefiero darme tal y como soy, con todas mis dudas y contradicciones. Yo no quiero fabricar una mentira para retenerte y para estar contigo. Yo no puedo ser perfecto, tengo miles de defectos, tengo lágrimas y tengo un corazón. Si me pides que mejore mis fracasos, mis errores, dame tiempo para ver si puedo andar. Y yo te seguiré donde vayas tú, y me quedaré a tu lado. Solo una cosa te voy a pedir: no le hagas caso a mi melancolía. Algunos días fácil sonreír, pero hoy no es uno de aquellos días. Y yo te seguiré donde vayas so much. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much, Emerson. We'll have one more from you at the end. And I recognize the word amigo. Hola, gracias. Gracias, Emerson. Gracias. So, thank you. And I want to just remind you that August 5th, Friday, Sherry Lease is doing a sound bath. And I urge you to sign up in the Rising Thought bookstore and be here. There will be bowls all over this whole stage. And she's amazing. So let's just take a moment and move into that sacred place. Would our prayer team please come forward, and we'll hold that consciousness of wholeness for this whole room. If there's anybody in your life that you would like to put in prayer right now, let's just call out their name. Damien, Todd, Ann. Call out your name also, Mary Jean. For I know that power and presence and spirit, that one energy, that one divine intelligence is my life and your life right now. It's only that one energy, that vibration that moves forth as us, that consciousness of one. So right now, I declare that whatever has seemingly been amiss, whatever thoughts have been less than joyful, whatever worry has been on your mind or stress, that right now we just let that go. Just imagine it just washing through your body and going down to the floor into the earth. And as you sit there, you're this brand new energy of spirit, creating the life that you desire, filled with love, harmony, connection, abundance. I know that whatever is needed right now in your life for you to experience that happiness and wholeness is now here. We welcome it. We give thanks for it before we see it. For that infinite power is so magnificent, it works through us. Giving thanks right now for greater good for each and every one of us. I declare it so, and so I let it be, and so it is. Thank you, Sherry. All right. There have been more healings from people that have called out names in this chamber of prayer. People come and they tell me, I kept putting so-and-so's name in every week, and now all of a sudden they're healed, and things are shifting in their life, and they don't even have to know that you're doing the prayer, that we're doing it together. So anyway, I want to thank you, because your presence allows that to happen. And now for our closing song by Emerson. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you so much again, and I don't want to talk a lot because I know we're hungry and Larry need to turn on the grill. So I think this is my last service of the season here, and I just want to no. Oh, Deborah, say no. Oh, I didn't know. I don't know. I thinking in back Mexico. Yeah, thank you. And I want to say thanks again for your love and support and for letting me play and show my music and I appreciate a lot and I hope can I back the next season. For sure I don't want to through Texas, Houston. Well, yeah. So thank you so much. This is the last song. I hope you like it. It's not La Bamba, sorry. What would you think if I sang it up tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ear and I sing you a song and I try to now sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friend. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friend. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friend. What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? How do I feel by the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? Oh, I get by with a little help from my friend. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friend. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friend. Do you need anybody? I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love. Would you believe in a love at first sight? Just am certain that it happened all the time. What do you see when you turn off the light? I can tell you, but I know it's mine. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friend. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friend. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friend, from my friend, from my friend. Thank you so much. Para bailar la bamba, ¡ea! Para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia. Una poca de gracia pa' mí, pa' ti. Ahí arriba, ahí arriba. Ahí arriba, ahí arriba. Por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Sigue. Bamba, bamba, hey. Bamba, bamba, woo. Bamba, bamba, rrrru. Bamba, bamba. Hey.
Thank you so
you.
much, Emerson. Woohoo! Gracias, amigo. Remember, he has a concert coming up. What day? Wednesday, July 20. All right. So show up. There's going to be food truck and music and a great time. Thank you so much. I love you. God bless you all. Come on into Scott Hall.